Okay. Oh, there's the light. Maybe I can start talking now. Hello, this is Veterans News, a production of the United Veterans Organization of Nassau County. My name is Ed Allman, and I'm still talking because I don't know if the show is rolling. I'd like to thank Erica Bradley of North Shore TV for the use of her studio facilities here in Lake Success, and Mike Peters for his technical support and for training our crew. The show is broadcast on public access television. I want to say hello to our viewers in both Nassau and Suffolk County. I would like to thank Sabrina Lacey, the former commander and current chaplain of the Suffolk County VFW.
Thank you, Ed.
Welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank our crew on Camera 1, General Robert Guarneri, Camera 2, Mike Ferraro, and our assistant director, actually he's our director tonight, Gene Schurer. Our graphics director is Beverly Allman. Our assistant producer and co-host, oh, he's not the co-host tonight, you're the co-host. Our assistant producer is Eric Spinner. And I don't see any light on any camera, but I'll assume you're still taping. By the way, if there's any other member of the crew who would like to host the show, just find me a guest. By the way, if you would like to ask me a question or make a comment on the show, please go to mardiv1@optimum.net. You know, I'd like to double check to see if we're on the air. We are, okay. Our guest today is Bernard Heigh, also known as Buddy, a veteran who just turned 100 years old. Welcome, Buddy.
Welcome, Buddy.
Bernard. And with him is his son, Bruce. Okay.
Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
Congratulations, Buddy, Bernard, on hitting your 100th birthday. When did you serve in the military?
I served in the military from May 14th, 44 to June 17th, 46.
How do you remember the months? The month
back,
and the day?
I can go back on a memory and lighten a lot of things.
Wow, I can't remember the month that I went in. Very good. Who did you serve with? What unit did you serve in? I know you were in the Navy.
Yeah. Well, actually, this was a part of the fleet, but this was U.S. Navy fleet small boats. Boats under under destroyer level.
Smaller than a destroyer?
Yes.
Okay. Were they like PT boats you were on?
No. These boats are steel hull. It has 8-foot solid concrete from the bow in, from the main deck on. This is sub-ramming bow.
Wow.
We had sunk 5 German U-boats. I don't know if you know what a U-boat is.
Sure. How did you sink them? Were they onto the surface?
Our mandates on the end have 5 racks. The depth charge racks.
Uh-huh.
And
right.
all loaded.
Right. What was your job on the boat?
I'm a radio man. I maintain the tech end and also the maintenance. Mailman. I have a lot of job, only second, believe it or not, to the captain. And I'll tell you if you want a story.
Sure.
My captain, age-wise, is only 7 months older than me. I was 23. He reached his 24th birthday.
Wow.
My crew was made up, I'm talking the so-called OSA level, 6 men, OCS graduate, Officer Candidate School graduate.
Right.
The crew is an open crew that maintained the rest of our ship, and a wonderful crew.
Yeah. I heard you had 65 men on the ship?
We have 65 men and 6 officers, yes.
And 6 officers?
Yes.
Huh.
I can tell you a story about our executive officer.
Good, I like to hear stories.
Sitting in the radio room, which is next to a quartermaster room, he comes by and pats me. What are you doing? I say, I'm reading about the thermometer. What are you doing reading about? I said, I have to know about it if something happens. That's not your job. I said, this man has no criteria. This ship has to carry technicians. That happens to fall on me because we don't have a complement for a radio tech. My whole background is tech, falls on me.
Well.
Oh, you don't have to be doing that, executive officer. I'm giving you 10 hours of extra duty to clean the bilge. I says, I'm doing nothing. He says, you start tomorrow morning. I says, I am not. He says, we'll see. I go to my captain and I tell him what this executive, your man, he wants me to do 10 hours extra duty because I'm reading about the thermometer. And I'm not going to do it. He says, good. You don't do it. He's not supposed to tell you anything. He's supposed to notify. And no officer will notify me about my men that I know run this ship properly.
Wow.
This officer happens to be a Southerner. I hold nothing against anybody. And he told us, the exec, what are you wanting him to do extra duty? He says, because he's reading a thermometer. He says, you have no business telling him anything extra duty. You notify me of any man on this ship to give extra duty. These men run this ship. I have nothing bad to say. The ship is perfect with the crew I have.
Okay.
And if you don't like it, I'm going to have you transferred. And believe it or not, he did.
Really?
He had the executive officer transferred.
Okay, that's a serious story. That you remember the details. Do you remember any details of a good time? Did you go on Liberty somewhere where you maybe want to forget something?
Yeah, I'll tell you. One of the islands we went to is the island of the Dominica, which is half Spanish and half that nation that's very poor. I forget now.
Haiti.
Yes.
Yes.
My 2 buddies and myself, Johnny Bonds and Al Martin, 3 of us go in.
And you remember their names? Okay.
Yeah. We go in and we meet with them, and I see a young lady sitting there, and I say, wow. And right away, she asked me, she waits for me to talk, so I didn't know if she can speak it, so I said, ¿Cómo se llama? What's your name? So she laughs and tells me, Lillian. So I asked her, ¿Cuántos años? How old are you? So she laughs and she says, I'm 18 in English. I said, oh, I'm surprised. I didn't know you speak. She says, I speak a good English. my friends are waiting with ladies in there, and wondering, Bernie, what's going to be with us? So I says, I think it's okay. So my lady friend says, on the way with them. So I start a conversation with her. I see such beauty in not only your face, but your body. What are you doing on this island? She tells me, I live here. You live here? She says, not only me, my family lives here. Mm-hmm. So I said, my God, your money is being thrown. You come to the States, you'll make $1 million. God help me. She was the most beautiful woman in my life that I ever saw.
Wow. Okay, and you can...
Not only on face, but in body. Now, we're going at the other end. My friends come out with the... And the Lady Lillian looks at them and tells the two workers in Spanish, no charge.
Very good.
For those two.
Very good.
So I sit with her there, and I said, I don't understand what you're doing here. So she says, I live here again. I said, but what could you get paid? I said, come to the United States, you'll be a millionaire with the family. I said, you know what? I'm going to do something. I'm going to give you my telephone and my address. And she says, thank you. But she says, I'm going to give you my phone number. But would you believe it, though? I have not heard from. I wish I did.
Yeah.
The end of a story.
The question I have, did they have phones back then?
Of course they had phones.
But everything that I skip is either in Spanish or common enough for everyone to understand why.
Do you speak another language or just Spanish? Just pickup lines.
Speak Yiddish, Jewish too.
Yiddish.
Yes.
Abyssal.
If you want to know stories about Yiddish, my folks are American born. They were born here. That's my folks. My grandparents, both sides, my mother came here in 1875 to 1880.
Wow.
We're here in this country a long time.
Yeah, you remember the date that your grandparents came to this country?
Yes.
From what country?
My mother was born here in 1900. My father was born here in 1897. My father just closed, he's dead, but he closed the birthday of 126. And my mother will close, she's dead too, a birthday of 90.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
What year, what country did they come from?
Yeah, what country were you from? Your grandparents?
My father's family was from the Austria-Hungary area, and my mother's family were from Lithuania. My mother's family. And and believe it or not, I'll tell you a sad story. The Nazis, under that man Hitler, killed off my mother's and my father's families, the rest, other than my grandparents. Mm-hmm. That's how my family went.
How about your wife? When did she die?
My wife died. You'll find these numbers stand out in my family. 9/11/17. If you remember, 9/11 was when that bomber hit.
And she passed at 90.
Yes.
90.
And how long were you married?
A long, long time.
Yeah.
I married 1949. That's a long, long time.
Where did you meet her? And was she beautiful?
My wife to me was the most, other than this beautiful woman, I could never take it away. I told my wife about her. And my wife said, yes, you'll never find a doll like that. She says, that's a living doll. But my wife to me was my love, was my life. That woman knew and open-minded. Everyone, black, white, green, Jew, are all the same. And that road continue on to my parents and my grandparents. My grandfather, as old as he was, the most widest man, brain-wise, that I ever knew. Like I say, he never said blacks are no good or Italians are no. He accepted it, and I want to tell you a story about that, another story. My grandfather, my mother's father, he spoke 5 languages, but he came to America to open a business, and a cleaning business. So he opened an Italian area. He speaks 5 languages, but they told him, you can't be here unless you know. He learned fluently Italian on top of 5 languages. And he stayed in the Italian area for years in the cleaning business.
That was your father?
That was my wife's father.
Right.
If I could tell one story, you would appreciate.
Please.
We grew up in the Bayview Projects in Brooklyn and Canarsie, and it opened 1956. We lived there from 56 to 66, and when it was a teachers' strike, my parents, they weren't having us stay home. They sent us away to all-black school to make sure we would still be in school when the teachers were on strike.
And what school was that?
I don't know. Just went on a bus, and they took us away to school someplace.
Wow.
Okay.
We were the most widely people that you want to meet. Not only, my folks were born here. My grandparents came later on. But we lived, if you know Brooklyn, if anybody knows
from Brooklyn.
and or Williamsburg.
Yep, and I went to school at FDR High School.
All right, you knew Williamsburg?
Yes,
I lived
Williamsburg.
on Varrett Street. Varrett and Bushwick.
Sure.
Okay.
I was born on the corner of Varrett and Bushwick, and we lived 25 years on 4 different tenement houses on Varrett Street. That only is a part of my history. Now I'm going to shift a little bit to
Then we went to Fort Greene. I was in Fort Greene from 51 to 56.
So you were around a lot of blacks? Yeah, because during that time, that's where we migrated to, most of us. And Bedford-Stuyvesant and Brooklyn and Brownsville.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me close
I went to Brownsville Boys Club as well. I went to day camp.
Oh, okay. What high school did you go to?
Canarsie High School.
Oh, I went to FDR High School. So Canarsie was in Canarsie.
Yep.
How about your kids, Bernie?
My kids.
How many kids did you have?
Well, this is part of my life now. I had a sister and a brother. Sister 2 years older than me. She would have been now 102.
2.
My brother, 5 years younger than me. He will become the 31st. 90.
He passed.
95.
95.
He passed though.
Oh, he passed?
Yes.
Okay.
Now in my family, it's a bad thing to say though, we're wiped out. I'm the only one. No brothers, other than my, family.
Excuse me, he was asking about the children.
Yeah. I know Bruce is your son. Do you have any other children?
Yeah, Michael, I have 2.
How old is Michael?
Michael's 5.
3 years younger. He's 68.
You're 81?
I'm 71.
Oh, you're 71.
Yes.
21. You got some
Okay.
good genes.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
very
you.
blessed. Do you have any religious background? Because it got to be something that's keeping you strong. And how long have you been married?
Since 77.
How many years is that? I'm old. so I
Oh,
can't-
46 almost.
46 years.
Yeah.
And I always ask our guests, what do you think one of the reasons why marriages last so long for you? And what do you think one of the problems that we are having with a lot of marriages failing today?
I'm not that smart to answer that question.
He's laughing. You have an answer?
Because I think today, too many young people say to Ma, I know. When the mother asks him, why did you do that? I know why I did. I know when they ask a question, a lot of kids, I know, Ma. The other thing, the three-word answer you get from today's young people is the three words, I don't know. The common phrase,
Yeah.
almost everybody uses it. And you ask a question, and if there's no answer, I don't know. To me, that's incorrect, and I try to say, there's more to say than three words, I don't know.
I agree with you.
You've been around a long time. So have you ever been involved with the Veterans Group? You belong to the VFW or the American Legion?
Yeah, American Legion, on and off. I get their mail too, and I answer some of it. And,
Uh-huh.
I have a lot of time in the fraternal order too.
Uh-huh.
I'm a member of the Knights of Pythias, very similar
Okay.
to the Knights of Columbus.
Sure.
It's now 76 years that I'm a Pythian.
Really?
And I'm an organizer of a number of Pythians. Way back in '47, I organized, along with my father's friend Litz, the Litz Pythian, 1951.
Litz Kingsdale.
That was organized as the second one. From there we organized all the way today. We are the King Solomon Lodge, along with two others that pulled into us. I'm a Pythian, like I say, since 1947.
Okay. I have a surprise for everyone. We're going to show a little bit of tape for a, well, I won't tell you what it's for, but it's something that you were very much a part of.
I just want to give credit. I didn't mention my sister, and she's about 9 years younger than me, and she's done a whole lot, if not the most, for our dad. So
Really?
So she's in Florida now.
And what is her name?
Ellen Kessler.
Thank you, Miss Kessler.
Yes.
I'm from the county executive's office. We have a citation here. The county executive wanted to be here because he loves the birthday parties, but he especially loves the birthday parties for our veterans because both Bruce Blakeman's mother and father were veterans, and we don't see that very often. So he is very sorry he couldn't be here for you today. We have a citation.
100th birthday, and whereas you live your life as an example to all who have had the pleasure of knowing you, and distinguished yourself as a veteran of World War II. And whereas you, Bernard Heigh, have brought joy into the lives of those around you, especially those here celebrating with you today. And whereas your family, friends, and members of the United States House of Representatives wish to convey warm-hearted congratulations to you, Bernard Heigh, at today's birthday celebration in your honor. And whereas the 4th Congressional District is delighted to join with your loved ones as you celebrate your birthday, your legacy, and now therefore Congressman Anthony D. Esposito on March 5th, 2023, do hereby present this citation to Bernard Heigh.
That's it for Veterans News. Bernie, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Bernie.
Bruce, thank you for coming and bringing your father.
My pleasure.
And thank you, Bruce.
Okay.
Thanks for having us.
If there's time, crew, come on up and get your picture taken. I have most of the crew here. Bob Guarneri is here. Okay.
Great.
Mike Ferraro is there. Eric Spinner is here.
I have another.
Okay, bring Beverly up. Come on. There you go. Good. Okay.
The idea of radio to me is
Oh,
not-
Beverly.
Beverly.
Oh, my goodness.
Nice.
Okay. Well, I hope this isn't dead air time.
Well, I hope I can say,
Yes.
Bernie and your family, thank you for taking care of our veteran and our hero. And we're happy to have our
Very
hero
good.
here.
You know, I took my dad to honor flight, and my mother said that was the best thing you ever did for him.
Nice.
I'm bringing
I'm
him.
on my way to Normandy in June.
Wow.
Yeah, with a group of people.
W2UR.
Yes, okay.
I call